Hey guys, Garvey here. This is part 2 of my Dissecting Visual Aesthetics series. I would highly recommend you watch part 1, in which we talk about space, before watching this one. I set up a lot of the foundations required for the conversation in that video. The reason line and shape are being placed into the same category is rather simple. Line is the building block for shape, and shape is the building block of the image. Line and shape are the major blueprint of the visuals. It's the underlying structure that holds it together. Every painting, photo, and film can be broken down into very simple geometric patterns. There's two ways the artist can place shapes into the frame: physical and metaphorical. Physical is exactly as it sounds. Whether it's the circle of a face, the box of the body, or the triangle of a home, these are all very literal placements of the shapes. The other type of shape placement is metaphorical. These shapes are constructed with the aid of the human brain. Your brain is always constructing and developing lines in your vision. Whether it's a line visualizing the path of a bird's flight, creating a path of eyesight, the axis of the subject, or connecting the dots between multiple subjects within the frame. These can all lead to creating interesting lines. And enough interesting lines can add up to interesting shapes within the frame. So what's the power of line and shape? How does the artist set it up to craft a story? Let's talk about line first. There are two qualities of the line: its direction and its rigidness. With direction, it can be broken down into three types: horizontal, vertical, and diagonal. This is the linear motif. Typically, the diagonal motif, seen mostly in the Dutch angle, is the most intense of the linear motifs. It has a certain unnatural quality to it. People are far more accustomed to vertical standing people and horizontal animals, or vertical trees and the horizontal ground. The vertical and horizontal motifs are less intense. They give the frame a sense of structure, pillars holding it up, giving it a grid-like pattern. The rigidness is the amount the line flows, the curvature of it. Is it a straight line, or is it a winding path? With all the tools of line laid out, how can the director set it all up to convey the story? I think it'll be a lot easier to show it rather than trying to state it. What about shape? Well, the three main shapes are squares, circles, and triangles. Similar to what I said in my space video, there isn't universal attributes associated with these techniques. It's up to the director making the film to give circles and squares definition. But there does tend to be popular associations. The triangle has always had a certain sense of power associated to it, perhaps because it's the visual manifestation of the hierarchy. Imagine positioning the powerful character at the top of the pyramid with the subordinates at the bottom, or placing the weak character at the bottom of the pyramid to really visualize his placement in the story. The square is commonly seen as a form of structure, perhaps due to the architecture of most buildings, and the circle is usually associated with unity or completion. The next time you watch a film, look out for any shapes in the image. Are certain characters associated with certain shapes over others? Does the film start with a bunch of squares? Does the dominant shape change over the course of the film? At what point does the dominant shape shift? All these add up to creating a compelling narrative through something as rudimentary and universal as shapes. All the examples I mentioned are pretty simple. Artists have taken the power of line and shape to really interesting places. Many of the techniques have been used to convey the opposite of its typical definition. For example, in American Beauty, it uses the vertical motif to make Kevin Spacey's character seem trapped, almost as if he was in a cage. That's pretty much all I want to say about that. This element of the visuals is rather straightforward and simple to elaborate on. If you liked the video, give it a like. Click subscribe if you want to watch more videos like this one every Monday. Next week, we'll be discussing tone. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.